I like that this is just the first scene of Mahoyo. It's great. It's just ringing phone.
Can we please get off the screen so the constant ringing in my ears can stop?
No. Alright. Next thing we know, though, it's morning.
Oh, hang on. I gotta look at the stuff from Bio Y! Okay. Let's see. Fine. My ears can take it. I'll be okay. Probably. Just one. Just the kitty on the corner. If I can't send Bio all of the really... I mean, I suppose I could send Bio all the really confusing photos of the escape room game the Beach Hobo and I are playing, but that'd be real confusing. Because they're like one-off things to solve puzzles that would make sense to no one other than me. I'm feeling better this week. What? There was a totally friendly, not creepy priest around, lamenting that he lacked a wine to offer. I mean, honestly, anyone that wants to offer me reminders of what we were doing last week, I'd really, or 2 weeks ago, I'd really appreciate it. I remember checking.
So last week we were playing Sworn. I sigh and turn off the ringing alarm clock. Oh, that's an alarm clock? It sounds like a phone.
Thank fuck!
Today,
Oh, my ears.
no matter what she says, Saber and I are going on a date.
Consent's important, Shiro.
Nah. He can force her to go if she doesn't want to. Command spells, baby!
I mean, yeah, but he only has one of those.
Saber, I order you to date me!
Yes, I'm feeling better than I was. Shiro got fed up with when nobody would tell him anything, so he went to the least trustworthy person he knows. Since he at least would tell him shit because the priest thinks it's funny. Okay, thank you, Bio. But yeah, I'm feeling much better. As it turns out, I had a head cold immediately followed by a very aggressive strain of the stomach flu. So it was a real fun, it was a real fun time following my birthday. Like, apparently 32 just sucks. Like, Jesus.
My first priority will be to take Saber to plenty of places, so she'll have a chance to enjoy herself.
No, I didn't eat any of Inu's cooking by any chance, no.
I don't cook. That would be difficult.
I was, however, like, genuinely, I think it's just that I ate at the school. And for context, the school I work in doesn't actually have a proper kitchen. So eating the same food as the kids is literally eating jail food if the jail only had a microwave. Like industrial-sized microwaves to reheat food. And I thought it was okay because it was just like peanut butter and jelly. But jelly needs to be refrigerated and I'm not entirely certain that they have. It's a whole thing.
It doesn't have to be refrigerated, only after it's opened.
Yes, but presumably the jar of jelly was opened to put the jelly in the sandwiches.
Yeah, but if they took it off the shelf, opened it, and used it all in the sandwiches, it didn't first need to be refrigerated.
Except that the sandwiches had been sitting out for a while.
Yeah, so?
I'm not going to try and explain that process. That feels like a waste of my energy.
I've been trying to search my mind for the perfect spot for a date, but before I could come up with anything, my alarm went off.
Oh, I know. Take her to that same playground you keep running into Ilya at.
Take her to Waku Waku Splash. Let's just do that early. Oh yeah, I guess Waku Waku Splash hasn't opened yet. And also, didn't we get those tickets from Ilya in the first place? And She definitely hasn't handed us those. I'd turned the alarm clock on, just in case. Yeah, the presence of peanut butter neutralizes the decay of the jelly.
He literally put in parentheses after it, no it doesn't. Bio, please don't go telling Inu information that, okay, childcare rules with Willow. When you're creating rules for children, you don't phrase it as don't do something, because the bit the kids will remember is the bit that came after don't. So instead of don't run in the halls, it's walk in the hallways is the rule. Instead of...
Well, maybe you should tell them don't walk in the hallways, and then they'll actually do that thing.
Instead of don't fight with your peers, you tell them keep your hands and feet to yourself. The problem is, that no you don't you put on there, or at the back of that bio, is going to disappear from Inu's brain immediately, and all he's going to remember is explicitly you telling him it's okay.
See, if you tell them just to keep their hands and feet to themselves, though, they'll just go around headbutting each other. You need to be much more specific than that.
Also, Kevin, as we've discussed a number of times, I am a sadist. You don't have to reverse psychology me if you want to be punched. You just have to ask.
As hard as I tried, I still couldn't think of anything last night, so I borrowed an alarm clock from Tosaka, figuring I might have to pull an all-nighter.
Why didn't you have an alarm clock? Like, this game's set in what, the faraway year of 2004? Something like that?
04 or 05, somewhere around there.
See, you don't have that problem anymore. You don't have to borrow someone's alarm clock because you have a cell phone.
Yeah, Sakura was Shiro's alarm clock. And she's currently in the hospital after nearly being supified.
Yeah, well.
Murder slurpee, you know? Not that it's done any good. Sakura would be very sad to hear you say that. What she thinks all those times she came over to your house were. I sigh again. That's sort of a problem. I'm nervous enough, plus I didn't sleep, but I think the worst part is how shocked I am that after staying up all night to think about it, I couldn't come up with a single thing a girl might like.
You could just go ask either of the other girls living in your house.
こうなったら出たとこ勝負だ。手当たり次第連れ回して、あいつに楽しみってやつを思い知らせてやる。
He doesn't live in a time before the internet. The internet existed in 2004. It wasn't what it is now, but it existed.
Now, Bio, Rin interacting with an alarm clock was like almost the first thing that happened in this game. Was Rin getting woken up by her alarm clock that was an hour off because she's bad at time, and then like punting it across the room. Oh, he can't ask Taiga. Taiga's in the hospital after being nearly supified. I'll just take her to cute shops.
Probably raising hell in whatever ward she's being treated in.
Well, I feel like there's a fundamental flaw in that plan, but I've already made up my mind. There's nothing else I can think of. But what this all boils down to is that today is going to be a day packed with fun, and it'll go on until Saber says she's had enough. Shiro, I've had enough fun. We haven't left yet. You need to have more fun. I'll decide when you've had enough fun, thank you very much.
では、イリアスフィールはまだ目を覚ましていないのですか？ええ、まだ眠ったままよ。あの様子なら目を覚ますのにもうしばらくかかりそうだけど、今日はイリア、起きてればシローの後について回って邪魔してただろうし。そうですね。 今までのようにシロに同行されてはたまらない。昨夜はああなってしまいましたが、今日からは本気で残るマスターを探すのです。シロにはイリアスピールに構っている余裕はありません。ああ、そっちの邪魔じゃないんだけど、まあいいか。
Reen, could you stop shipping the two of them together?
Well, see, Reen ships the two of them together because by shipping the two of them together, she also gets both of them.
Again,
Which is her master plan. She just wants both of them.
shipping someone with someone else who literally cannot resist their commands is exceedingly unhealthy. Red flags every fucking where.
Yeah, Mitsuzuri is also in the hospital, yes, but that was because she had, like, most of her blood sucked out.
私が言っても仕方ないし、これはシロとセイバーの問題だし。
Osaka laughs mischievously.
私とシロの問題ですか？
We finish breakfast, and it seems like a good time to leave. Saber's ready to look for masters, but I'm determined to execute my plan as well. I just need to be a man and tell her.
そのことだけどな、セイバー。今日は隣町に出るから、支度があるなら今のうちに済ませておいてくれ。
マスター探しですか？それでしたら隣町ではなく郊外の方が確実だと思いますが。
そんなんじゃない。二人で遊びに行くんだから、郊外になんて行っても仕方がないだろう。
は？
Saber freezes. I try to ignore the sound of Tosaka trying and largely failing to control her laughter behind me. I'll get you for that, Tosaka. Eventually!
No, you won't.
シロ、それはどういう意味でしょうか？遊びに行くとはシロとリンではなく、その。
Why would it be me and Reen going out to have fun? Or Rauda's next route?
俺が行くんだから、ついてくるのはセイバー以外いないだろう。登坂はうちでイリアの面倒を見てもらうから関係ない。
何をバカな。私とシロが隣町を探索したところで成果は薄い。そのようなことをしても意味がない。一体何をしようというのですか、あなたは。
Saber is pretty clearly frustrated. I kind of figured something like this would happen, but things are looking even bleaker than I thought, since she clearly thinks we're going out to town to search for
That
masters.
should say out of town. Surely.
Or out to the neighboring town. Or...
参った。ここまで行ってもわからないんだな、セイバーは。要するに、俺はデートしようって言ってるんだけど、どうかな。
Well, that's surprisingly forward of dumbass doesn't understand women, Shiro.
I ignore Tosaka's stare as I speak to Saber.
Exactly, Reen. I relate so hard to Reen. That look of like, really? Just really, dude.
I'm not sure how much Saber understands.
そのような言い方ではわかりません。具体的な内容を提示してくれませんか、シロ。
Saber, you cannot expect me to believe that the Grail knowledge does not taught you what a date is.
No, I choose to believe she 100% actually understands what he's asking and is just trying to play dumb. Because she just really does not want to. Willow's blonde Reen, aka Ereshka Gall.
She looks even more irritated. And suddenly, it's like a switch flips in my head. And I can do magic! Yay! There's no sense beating around the bush here. It'd be best if I were just blunt with her.
シロ、街に出るというのなら従いますが、デートをしようとはどういうことなのか説明してください。いくらこの時代に慣れていると言っても、私にも知らない単語はあります。あまり専門的な略語は使わないでほしい。
Thank you, Reen.
別に専門的な単語じゃないぞ。知らないなら教えてやるけど、デートってのは女の子と遊びに行くって意味だ。
は？
Saber goes completely still. Also, I like Shira's explanation here. Like, Reen could not go on a date with him. He could go on a date with Reen. Reen could go on a date with Saber.
Well,
Saber could go on a date with Ilya.
Again.
But none of them can go on a date with Shiro. Because
again,
it's explicitly going out and having fun with a girl.
Again, Shiro's a misogynistic asshole who doesn't fully understand the concept of consent, so he's saying, I can take you out. You can't take me or anyone else out.
No, she could take Reen.
But-
When someone
but-
goes out and has fun with a girl.
But dates only matter if I'm going out and having fun with people. Like, I needed a couple weeks away from this game, but it is coming back to me in force how aggressively I dislike Shiro. I'd almost forgotten how much I hate this character.
Imagine a servant summoned in 2025 to learn meme language. Gosh.
女の子とは
Yes.
私のことを言
Let's
っている
just
のでし
go
ょう
ahead
か
and give, like, Caster Albert Einstein brain rot. That sounds like fun.
Oh, no. No. No, no, no. No one engages with brain rot. There is a hard rule in my after-school program that if I hear kids sprouting off brain rot, I am telling their parents they're getting too much screen time at home at dismissal, which thankfully means the kids limit it. Because most of their parents, because I sort of work in a pseudo-Montessori school, most of the parents don't let their kids have a ton of brain rot or a ton of screen time. So if I told them their kids were speaking entirely in internet slang brain rot terms, the parents would be livid. Ah, fun guy that stings to read.
Looks like just a bunch of gibberish to me.
No, it's not, unfortunately.
I'm not sure what buses have to do with anything.
Not buses, bust in.
Right, which is what you do when you're on a bus. You're in the process of busing.
No. Bussin' is a way kids describe something that's really good or really cool. So, for example, to use one of my lunch groups last year, the kids would come in, and if anytime we brought in actual food for the kids during lunch group, they'd be like, "This is bussin'," or "This is bussin'." And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, could you not? Please. No, I just work in a school. I'm surrounded by brain rot at all times, friends. You just kind of absorb some of the knowledge of the brain rot over time.
I mean, you know how you stop it, right? And it's that you start regurgitating it unironically at the kids, and then they decide it's not cool and they stop doing it.
Yeah, and then I have to learn the definitions of entirely new brain rot as they move on to something else.
Right,
I'd
and then
just
you start
rather-
using that against
No,
them.
I'd just rather let them have their ridiculous brain rotty things that I can at least understand.
Like our brain rot when we were kids was definitely much more sensical than this crap.
I'm inclined to agree, but we also have very rose-colored glasses about the 90s and early 2000s.
We had sensible things like well, basically everything in the original D. Cloverway dub of Sailor Moon, which was just a lot of 90s-isms smashed into the dub for some reason.
Influencer serpent when. Jesus Christ.
Wasn't that just Shonagon? Like, Shonagon basically was good old Kira selfie archer over here. When I nod yes, Saber looks even more confused. Yeah, yes, you're a girl, Saber.
言葉の意味は分かりましたが、意図が全く分かりません。そんなことをする理由は何ですか？
I wasn't expecting this question. I mean, I know what the point of a date is, but now that I'm on the spot and Saber wants me to explain it to her face, well...
ああ、もうそんならしくない単語を使うから勘違いさせるのよ。デートなんて言わずに、もっと分かりやすい言葉で説明すればいいの。
Outing. Or...
Excuse me. It's pronounced outing. Thank you.
We're not Canadian.
No. You've clearly just not watched, Spy Family, which you really should, because it's very, very good.
I have not. The Beach Hobo keeps telling me I should, though.
You should. It's excellent.
No, Willow figured out Caster. Willow's also very upset Caster didn't get more screen time.
Well, I mean, she might have gotten more screen time if she'd left and or killed herself when Goldie told her to. That was her own fault for trying to disobey.
No, Goldie hurt my Caster, and I am going... There better be a put Goldie through a cruel and painful death option.
That's UBW. That's next route.
Ugh.
Where, you know, he gets to just get absolutely embarrassed.
いいセイバー。デートってのはね、要するに相引きのことなの。
Oh, a tryst. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah, a tryst.
Goldie is a walking ball of yellow, which by default means I absolutely detest him.
Nah, he's a walking ball of gold.
Which is, in and of itself, borderline yellow. There's a reason I wear white gold and silvers instead of yellow gold for things, Inu. It is that I genuinely cannot stand it.
You should try platinum instead.
Technically, our grandma's original engagement ring, the one I usually wear with the ring I'm wearing now, is platinum and diamond. Artoria's color palette has a significant enough amount of not blonde and not yellow that Artoria is fine. But, like, very blonde people wearing golds and yellows really, really does something to my brain. And I think it's just that yellow is such a bright, like, irritatingly bright color to my eyes that it does sometimes prompt migraines. So... Is it gold and white or black and blue? Black and blue.
Everyone was wrong. It was actually pink and green.
白は遊びに行くって言うけど、つまるところ男の子が好きな女の子にアピールするチャンスってわけ。
Thanks, Reen. I cough loud. Sasaka may be right, but I am pretty confident that a date and a tryst are two very different things.
Well, somebody had to put it in terms. Saber would more or less understand.
But I don't think it's worth mentioning.
Besides, look at that face. Reed knew exactly what she was doing.
And Saber's busy praying to whatever god she believes in for help. From her reaction, it looks like Saber finally understands what a date is.
So you
Yeah, it's a fruit,
Saber.
right? It's a fruit that you eat.
Oh, I'm sure the reason that wasn't the misunderstanding is because they're probably not the same word in Japanese. But
今日一日は戦わないで町に行く。そもそも昼間は人目につくから戦えないだろう。ならどう過ごしてもいいはずだ。
You're gonna have to get this girl some cheeseburgers. It's like
それはそうで
penance
すが。
for this Shiro.
しかしあまりに意味がありません。そのようなことをしてもシローには何ら得るものがないのではありませんか。
yeah, well, maybe not in this version of the game.
そんなことはないけど、別にそうでも構わないぞ。今日はセイバーのために使うって決めたんだから、俺のことは気にするな。とにかく今日は絶対に町に行く。こればっかりは何を言われても変えないからな、セイバー。
I look her straight in the eye. Just one of them.
Bit of life advice here, people. If you ask a girl out and she makes that face, you fucked up in asking.
Or she's from, like, the 1100s.
No, that's the grimace of someone accepting a fate they're not happy with. Like, no. She was flattered for a hot second and then took offense.
I don't see a fence anywhere. What fence did she take? Does Shiro even have a fence? Saber ponders for a while looking serious.
では私が反対した場合でもシローは一人で町に出ると。
ああ、絶対に行く。そうでなきゃ一晩考え抜いたのがバカみたいだ。
それでは私が付き添わないわけにはいきません。サーバントとしてマスターを一人にすることはできないのですから。
Ah, victory. After taking a deep breath, Saber answers in her usual manner. Okay, that could have gone better, but at least I've managed to convince her to come out. I shouldn't sweat the small stuff at this point.
いってらっしゃい。お土産よろしくね。
As we step outside, I make a rude gesture at Tosaka since she
Rude!
made fun of me until the very end.
Rude! You leave Tosaka alone!
He like steps out and he's just like he just bites his thumb in Tosaka's general direction.
Okay, I would actually accept him doing that. Purely because, as Inu well knows, that is my favorite Shakespearean insult. Just biting your thumb at someone.
Do you suppose that it's like analogous to the middle finger and that doing both thumbs is even more like is that doubly offensive if you just bite both your thumbs at someone? Like, fuck you in particular.
Well, I suppose it might carry that connotation. But I think, honestly, it would lose some of the effect. Because it just looks ridiculous.
Well, so does just biting your thumb in general, but you know, evidently, that was the worst of the worst as far as insults goes.
It wasn't. It was great, and we should go back to that being the insult.
We can
Oh
even
my god! I should try and get that to take off at my school.
We could combine it even. We'd be like, You're like pinky out, but middle
Well-
finger up when you're biting
Well,
your thumb at someone.
If you think about it that way, it does also kind of look like you're calling them a loser
Or playing a bugle.
or playing a bugle.
But then, if you need to get fancy, you pinky out while you're doing it.
Well, yeah, but then you're not giving the middle finger anymore.
You are. It's still
Yeah.
there.
No, the middle finger is middle finger only. That is not the middle finger, you know? And that was a delightful several-minute long rant that means nothing to any of the viewers because they couldn't see what we were doing.
That's their fault.
No, technically it's yours.
No.
You can turn on a webcam or use your little, although I suppose your VR guy doesn't have hands, does he? That move.
There's hands there.
Yeah, but they don't move. I think it just does the talky talk, right?
Yes.
それで
So, the
具体
weather,
的には
huh?
これからどうするのですかシロ
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Jiro, I have no plan, but you have to come anyway, Emiya.
どうするって、とりあえず隣町に出る。交差点からバスが出てるからそれに乗っていこう。
The hilly path is unusually quiet. It's a little past 9 in the morning on a weekday, and the town is starting to come alive, but it must be a little early to be heading out to somewhere. Why? It's 9 a.m. Shouldn't people be going to work? There's no one on the road. It's like we have the road to ourselves.
そういえば、学校を休むのに抵抗がなくなってるな。ここのところずっと家にこもってたし。
Well, there's not really... There's
School.
not school to go to. Everyone's in the hospital.
Including the teachers.
Including
Like,
the teachers and the administration. And presumably the janitorial staff.
yeah, like schools for sure closed.
You're skipping school. The place was fucking condemned.
当然で
It
しょ
had the worst gas leak
シロは
in
マスターなの
quite
です
some
から
time.
おいそれと出歩く方がおかしいのです
Saber's tone is sharp. Saber following behind me is nothing new, but it feels different today. I feel this immense pressure directed at me, and that's putting it mildly. I can tell Saber's gonna be tough to handle. Saber, you better start having fun, or so help me God, I will use my command seal to make you have fun when we get on the bus. It would have been stuffed with people about an hour ago, but there's only a handful of people using it now. The only people on the bus are old women and children, so it feels like we have the place to ourselves.
セイバー、一番後ろに座ろう。
Like the cool kid.
Old women and children. Not old women with children. So, like, presumably it's just a bunch of, like,
Unaccompanied minors.
yeah, who should be in school because it's a weekday. Who is letting these children run around and ride buses by themselves? But those kids do be busing, apparently. Oh look, a nice shot of the side of Saber's head as she looks out a window. Saber quietly looks out over the passing scenery. I steal a glance at her and realize how crazy I am for what I'm trying to do today. Taking the bus to a nearby town is an ordinary thing for me. But here, in this ordinary place, something extraordinary is happening. We're sailing a ship. The SS Get Along. Or, well, I'm finding myself questioning whether I'm actually doing this whole date thing and my mind starts spinning and whirling like some complex cube puzzle. well known for spinning and whirling complex cube puzzles.
No, I tend to prefer the SS relation. Then you're writing on our relationship.
Crap, I'm getting really nervous. It's kind of getting out of control. Actually, that might be a panic attack. Oh shit. Yes, just stare aggressively at Saber's neck. That'll make it better. Or maybe he's just admiring her ribbon. It is a nice ribbon.
It is a gorgeous ribbon, but maybe he's a neck guy. Maybe he just likes necking.
Could be. I mean, Shiki over in Tsukihime is very much definitely proven to be a leg guy, like immediately, as one of the first things he does in that game is aggressively stare up an upperclassman's legs on the train.
So I dislike
While she's
him.
having a conversation with him.
So I dislike him even more than Shiro.
And then a middle schooler throws a phone at him for it.
Good job, that middle schooler.
It's pretty great.
Shiro's a vampire. Wants to suck her blood.
Wrong Type Moon property.
Wait, there's a Type Moon property with vampires?
Yeah, Tsukihime. The one in which Shiki aggressively stares up a girl's legs in the first, 10 minutes of the game.
Damn, I might actually have to watch that playthrough.
I take a deep breath to calm myself down so Saber won't notice. But then, and I know this is stupid, I take another look at Saber. I realize, holy shit, eyes! She has eyes! My heart skips a beat. I hardly recognize Saber as she sits next to me, or, well, it's less that I don't recognize her than it is that the situation itself is unrecognizable. I've never sat next to a girl on the bus before.
I'd go on a date with actual Arthur, so I guess I can't judge people for being like, yeah, I'd go out with Saber Artoria.
I mean, this is actual Arthur.
It is not.
It is.
No.
The male Arthur is from a different universe.
And yet, that is the one I choose to recognize.
Tsukihime isn't the only Type Moon property future vampires in it. It's just the one where the vampires are the actual focus. Yeah, true story. It makes me realize that she's something else. She's different. I didn't realize it when we were at home. This ordinary, everyday life seems to me like it's become something entirely new and different just because Saber's here. Her golden blonde hair, her green eyes, those alone are enough to make her overwhelmingly beautiful. It hadn't really crossed my mind since I never had much to compare her to. So, shall I compare her to, I don't know, a summer day or something?
You keep my Shakespeare out of this, Inu.
I remember the first time I met Saber in a shed in the dark.
While I was dying.
While I was bleeding out from a fucking stab wound. Must have been avoiding her because I was too embarrassed to admit that I was admiring Saber. No matter what Saber says, to me, she's a girl before she's a swordsman.
She'd absolutely kill you for that.
Nah, she wouldn't, but if you tried pulling that shit with her son, Mordred would kill him for that. I didn't know how to react to her, and I didn't understand my feelings for her. I have to admit, I know I sound stupid. I've developed trust and affection for Saber past the point of no return, and now I've decided to go on a date with her.
Without her actual consent.
The order of events is all backwards. Now, as I get off the bus, I finally realize what a big deal it is to go on a date with the girl I like.
By comparison to the actual warrior fighting, I would think that would be, like, lower priority levels deals, friend.
Nah, seems pretty important. But that's okay. I can only give it my all, so I can't very well take it all back and cower in fear now. I calm myself and try to shake off my ridiculous apprehension. The bus crosses the bridge and drives toward the development area and its masses of tall buildings. I breathe out, almost whistling, and ready myself. The familiar bus announcement tells us that we've arrived at Shinto Station. It's only 9 in the morning. Wasn't it 9 in the morning back when we left the house?
Uh-huh.
No time has passed.
No, obviously they went such a far distance they crossed a time zone
They just went back an hour.
and went back an hour in time.
But the area around the station is already busy. Most of the shops don't open until around 10, but cafes and smaller bookshops are starting to open up. There are already more people here than you'd expect in Miyama, even if it were a weekend. We get off the bus, and Saber looks around the area, displeased. I don't blame her. She hasn't really agreed to the whole date thing, and everyone is staring at her now. I doubt she loves that.
焦ったな。考えてみれば、朝からセイバーを連れてくれば。
I should have made her wear a raincoat.
No.
Then people wouldn't be staring.
Now that said, my raincoat's still sitting on the back of one of my kitchen chairs. Well, I try and figure out if I want to try and turn it into an art installation or actually keep it as a viable raincoat, because I don't like being damp, so...
But this discomfort is bound to follow us around all day. The only cure for this I can think of is Saber enjoying herself so much she forgets all the awkwardness.
よし。
I smack my fist into my hand to look over at Saber.
セイバー、初めに聞いておくけど、どこか行ってみたいところ
No,
はある？
I choose to believe Shiro just does it wrong.
今日ぐらいは好きなことをしてもいいだろう。
Do you want to go anywhere? Yes, home.
さあ、別にこれといって興味のある場所はありませんから。そもそも私にそのような選択をする知識はありません。
本当か？そりゃ参ったな。じゃあ本当にここからは出たとこ勝負なわけか。セイバーに行きたいところがなくて、こっちもどこに行っていいかわからないんじゃ前途多難だ。
You know, Saber, you're making having this date really difficult.
Take her to a tea shop. Tea shops are always nice.
まさかとは思うのですが、何の計画も立てていないのですか、
The
シロ。
plan was to come here and spend time with you.
いや、少しはあるけど、中身はガラガラ。とりあえず手当たり次第に店をはしごしよう。
That's kind of hard to. I know some stores I'd enjoy, but I have no idea what girls like. Honestly, if I'd known this would happen to me someday, it'd have been smart to go out with a girl from class at least once. If only there was a girl that would have been willing to go out with me from school.
反論するわけではあ
Like
りませ
maybe
ん
one
が、
with purple
シロはどう
hair.
かしています。休憩を取ろうという考えはまだいい。ですが、
Don't be
その休憩
ridiculous.
すら明確な予定を立てていないとは何事ですか。
Surely there would be no such thing. Incidentally, for what it's worth, It's a shame that we don't get the same like outfits that we got for Saber and Zero.
Why?
Because her casual clothes in Zero were fucking snazzy as all hell. I just look at her rocking that fucking suit.
So that's how she casually dressed when she was working with Kiritsugu?
Yeah, she just wore a suit. And a ponytail.
I presume in an effort to make herself look older so she blended in better with Kiritsugu was the logic.
Presumably, but it was a fucking baller looking suit. And now Saber's in lecturing mode. Kiritsugu also always wore a suit. Yes, that's true. He was a very snazzy dresser, you see. See? There's Kiritsugu wearing a suit.
I like Kiritsugu.
Kiritsugu's cool. There was also Maya, who was like a associate of Kiritsugu. She also pretty much always wore kind of a suit type jam. Yeah, that was Maya.
She's black-haired Android 18.
Kind of.
Just saying.
I mean, you're not like wrong. Associate. Let's go with that. Yeah. This is the first time she's ever given me such an earful outside the dojo.
No, Android 17's male. The person Inu showed me was female, therefore black-haired Android 18. Besides, like the way it's more Bob-like reads more 18 than 17 to me.
I don't know. 17 seems more like a Bob to me in that he's male. She wasn't into this from the start, and I figured all the people staring at her wouldn't help, but I didn't realize it'd be this bad. Accurate.
Yeah, very, very accurate.
結果、齟齬を埋めるためにあなた自身が対価を払わなくてはならなくなる。と聞いているのですか、シロ？
聞いてるよ。要するに今こうしているのが納得いかないんだろ、セイバー。
That's not what she was saying at all, but okay.
まあ俺に連れ回されてもつまらないのは目に見えてるし、嫌がるのは当然だろうけど。
いえ、そういうことではなく、私は今はこのようなことをしている場合ではないと。
If you're one to talk about a lack of planning, Artoria, remember how all of your plans have gone for you so far?
Well, in Artoria's defense, she's used to being a hell of a lot stronger than she currently is.
I mean, she still got bodied by just a guy.
Just a guy that we never got a proper resolution to.
He's dead now.
Well, yes, so we were
That's what
told.
Caster told us.
それも分かってる。けど聞かない。俺は今日一日セイバーに付き合ってもらうって決めたんだ。こればっかりはなんて言われようと曲げない。絶対だ。
I look straight at Saber. The only thing Saber can do is look back at me in shock.
ただ言いたいことがあるなら聞く。文句もあるだろうし、そういうのは今のうちに言っておいてくれ。その方がお互い気兼ねしなくて済む。セイバーが俺とデートするのが嫌だって言うんなら、別の方法だって考える。
Like we could go on a tryst instead, or maybe an outing. romantic outing.
何もそこまでする必要はないと言いますか。私はその
It's odd seeing Saber at a loss for words.
なら文句はないんだな。じゃあ行くぞ。セイバーにリクエストがないんだからどこ行ったって怒るなよ。
Maybe we should go to an aquarium. I hear those are popular. That sounds good, so I grab Saber's hand.
Ah, so we're treating it like a date with Blaine. Let's go look at all the fish.
Ah, delicious fishy oil.
シロ、文句はありませんが、何も手をつかむ必要はないのではありませんか。
いや、時間ももったいないし、少し走るからな。案内するからはぐれないようについてこい。
Go to local 50th story skyscraper aquarium. Here, those are all the rage these days. Yeah, but they don't have any penguins there.
いえ、こんな状態では
Huh?
So, Mahoyo, Aoko, and Alice end up going to this aquarium, which is described as being on the top floors of a fucking 50-story skyscraper. And they get up there, and Alice is very disappointed they don't have any turtles.
Why is an aquarium on anything other than the ground
That
floor
was
of
my
a
question too, yes. Isn't having all that water in the tanks gonna be kind of a problem 50 stories up? Like, I mean, it seems like bad planning to me, but like, no, just on the top floor of the, yeah. It's legitimately a thing. Then she saw a weird sunfish that reminded her of the boy she had a crush on, so she chilled out. Yeah, true. But she was very upset about the lack of turtles first.
She was upset about the lack of turtles, but she wasn't upset about the fact that the aquarium was on the 50th floor?
Oh, they just took an elevator to get there.
Ah! These games!
I start running without waiting for Saber's reply. I've been pretty clear with Saber, so no more being pathetic in front of her. Is Mahoyo really just two teenage girls annoying the hell out of a socially stunted mountain man? More or less, yes. Yeah. For now, I just need to escort her to every place I can think of. Saber's hand in mine, I run through the crowd. Meow. Apparently, Saber's giving up resisting, as she just follows obediently. It's a little before 10 o'clock. We have 2 hours until lunchtime, so I'm going to make the most of that and really knock Saber's socks off. Assuming she's in fact wearing any socks. Those 2 hours were like a storm. First, we tried a boutique I'd normally never go to. Then we tried our hand at bowling while I taught her the rules. Oh my god. Strike, 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 strike. Saber just bowling a perfect 300. I couldn't find the aquarium, but we fed birds at the park. Tuppence a bag. We visited an interesting antique shop that ended up being a lot of fun, and I maintain that not going to the movie theater was the right choice. Anyway, I spent the whole time taking her places I figured a girl might like an antique shop, and to feed birds. However I tried to spin it, the day wasn't really shaping up to be a date. It felt more like a battle to the death, in which the first person to give up loses. It's not a battle to the death, that's a battle to the surrender. Wherever I took Saber, there it is! She acted exactly like she'd always done. Once in a while, she'd fall so quiet, I'd start to worry if she was truly angry. Look, it's Saber's lighthouse! We finally found the lighthouse!
I don't get it. Why are you so obsessed about this lighthouse?
So, when Max and I were going through this the first time, somewhere around this point, must have been while we were at the convention over the weekend, and we were just recording straight through every night. And we got kind of delirious a few times because we hadn't slept in like 70 hours.
I definitely don't know what that feels like, being ridiculously tired and spewing out random nonsense.
And so it got to the point where frequently one of us would be passing out in the middle of reading a line, and then the other one would just kind of have to take over for a little while. Or we'd just not read the lines that were there and just read whatever lines got made up in our head. And I said something incomprehensible about Saber's lighthouse. And I still don't know what it was, or where it was, or when it was. I just know that I said something about Saber's lighthouse, and so it became sort of a meme. This is the one reading fuck-up that will not let Inu off the hook. It was even on your birthday present for the sake of me clowning on him for it again.
Yeah, he did tell me when he and I were looking over my birthday present, and there was a lighthouse in the background. He goes, "Don't worry about that. It'll make sense eventually."
It's Saber's lighthouse. Her lack of reaction made it clear that she was not having fun, which pushed me to try even harder each time.
Shiro. Again, well, welcome to Dating Advice with Willow. The harder you try to make a girl have fun on a date, especially if it's one they don't super want to be on, the worse it's gonna go for you. The best thing you can do on a date with a girl is...
Get her drunk.
No. Is relax and be yourself and let them be themselves. Like, trying to force fun is just gonna make absolutely everyone miserable.
And so, I ran all around the city, desperate to make Saber smile, but noon came before I actually accomplished anything. And with Saber's reminder that it's lunchtime, I decided to take a short break. However, I think they call it a restaurant? Not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I can't help but blurt it out as we sit down.
昼食なら川沿いの喫茶店がおすすめよ。
Oh god, you listened to Reen. That was the only advice Tosaka gave me last night. So I did as she suggested and picked this restaurant, but I never imagined it would be so pretentious. I take a look at the menu. Luckily, the menu has Japanese translations next to all of its foreign text, so I can at least figure out what all the dishes are. The problem is that I've never even heard of any of these dishes, and the prices are outrageous. Oh, try the Daigaku Imo. What do you mean you don't know what that is? Of course you do. I stare at the menu and growl.
Also, not really good date etiquette there, Shiro. There's nothing that says successful date. Like someone looking at the menu in front of them and going, like, no, you keep that shit internal.
This is why we don't ask Reen for advice, Shiro. She will only give you the worst suggestions on principle.
シロ、ここには昼食をとるために立ち寄ったのではないのですか?
Saber looks and sounds a little concerned. We did come here to eat lunch, Saber. Never mind that the lunch is $47 for a sandwich.
そうなんだが、いかんせん勝手が違うというか。
I look up. And what I see is Saber, looking like a cornered rabbit.
Saber?
落ち着かないのなら今だけでも屋敷に戻りましょう。シローが用意してくれるものの方が。
There's no way you can know that. You haven't tried this food yet.
ね、それは家に帰りたいってことか。
いえ、屋敷に帰りたいわけではなくですね。今日はひどく緊張したので普段より疲れてしまったのです。
本当か。そっか。ここで飯にして一息ついたらまた街を出歩こうと思ったんだけど、セイバーが疲れたんならしばらくここで休憩しようか。
まさかそのようなことはありません。疲れたというのは語弊がありました。正しくはですね。
Saber stops. Fortunately, I'm the only one who hears the faint squeak from her stomach. Oh, you're hiding mice in your clothes. I understand. She could have just told me she was hungry.
申し訳ありません。つまり昼食は早めにしてもらえると助かるということです。
Garçon!
了解。そうだな。面白みがないけど無難なところを頼んでみて、さっさと飯にありつこうか。
Just order whatever looks okay. Should be easy if a light snack is all we need. I order 2 things that seem like lunch dishes, and we quickly eat. What is worth, Arturi is almost certainly entirely correct that anything Shiro made would be better than what they serve here, even if the food here is actually really good. While I'm drinking my after-meal coffee, I start thinking about what to do in the afternoon. What I learned this morning is that physical stuff like bowling is no good! Saber is extremely competitive. That in itself is good, but Saber's looks already draw enough attention, and when she gets like that, well, she stands out even more. After we finished a game, Saber got sulky because of all the attention she drew.
そんなわけで体を動かすのは避けると。なあ、セイバー。2度目になるけど、どこか行きたいところってあるか？
私にですか？いえ、特にはありません。私ではわかりませんから、このままシローにお任せします。
You know, I've just realized, thinking about the classes, because I was like, oh man, so saw somebody mention, like, oh, Shiro's kind of the bestest cook. Like, oh yeah, it's a shame there's not, like, a cooker class that he could have been summoned into. But, like, cook would sound better, but then, like, all of the classes end with right? Except for assassin? Saber, archer, lancer, rider, caster, berserker, assassiner.
I think they just didn't want to go with assassinator. Too many syllables.
Like, it's weird that assassin's the only one that doesn't end in until we get into the expanded extra classes like ruler and alter ego and moon cancer and
Ruler still ends in
so does moon cancer. But alter ego doesn't.
Just say, but alter does.
Oh yeah, but that's not the name of the class.
Yeah, but you can shorten it.
Pretender and foreigner still fit the bill. Like, shielder is also an Saber lifts her teacup as she speaks. She ordered black tea to have after her meal, and it seems she enjoys its flavor. Probably just figured assassin sounded better than killer or murderer. Yeah. I hardly serve black tea at home, and even if I did, it'd just be cheap tea bags. Saber must not have been satisfied with the drinks I've been serving at home, since it looks like she prefers black tea. Well, she's European. Well, I should be more mindful about that starting tonight. Saber isn't doing much. She's just drinking her tea. With some nice parallax scrolling. She doesn't seem particularly happy, but she doesn't exactly look bored either. I guess she's just being Saber. As sunlight pours in through the window, Saber sits up straight, gracefully sipping from her teacup. It's the first time I've seen her do this, but it seems so natural, it's like I've seen it a million times before. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Saber, at least as I know her, is always serious, only focused on wielding her sword, on fighting.
ああ、そうか。
It's only natural. I only think of her as the girl who takes up her sword. The moment she sets her sword aside, Saber is always calm and gentle. The scene doesn't feel new or unnatural to me, because it's... This scene doesn't feel new or unnatural me, because it's just her being who she is. And unnatural me being who unnatural me.
No, it doesn't feel unnatural.
It doesn't feel unnatural me.
Meaning it feels natural him.
Jesus Christ, I wonder it buds the flower over here. No wonder how skilled the swordsman, or no matter how skilled the swordsman she is, this is Saber just being normal. Or wielding her sword isn't what makes her exceptional. I once thought, while I was dreaming, that she was suited for fighting. I don't think I'm wrong there. No matter how great her sword skills are, no matter how many battlefields she's been on, so long as she was really herself, she couldn't have found the battlefield a comfortable place to be. That's why this is how it's supposed to be. Saber's not wielding a sword, she's just resting and unwinding, drinking tea. She belongs in this serene setting. Nothing changes in the afternoon. I take her to every shop I can think of, and Saber follows quietly. At least it's not as awkward as earlier in the morning. Either I'm getting used to the situation, or Saber's given up. She's still quiet, but the more I watch her, the more I notice she looks either angry or, well, not angry, which is really confusing. Whenever I see Saber coming out of a store looking excited, I feel the sense of accomplishment. It really makes me happy. Then, after a careful consideration of what Saber might like, I'm not certain, but I determined this is the shop most likely to please Saber. Welcome to Build-A-Bear.
Okay. So, I actually can't fault him for this one. Like, most adult women I know would honestly be perfectly happy to go to a Build-A-Bear on a date. So, one, it's generally a cute store. 2, it's an easy way to have a customized keepsake to take back. 3, it means whoever you're on a date with isn't taking themselves too seriously. And honestly, for most women, though a lot of them will try and deny it, have a soft spot for a good plushie.
If you're not gonna get a good plushie at Build-A-Bear, you're gonna get a Build-A-Bear plushie at Build-A-Bear.
Honestly, the Build-A-Bear plushies aren't that bad in quality. Like, and you can put them in all sorts of super cute outfits.
I mean, you can do that with a regular plushie. Like, a quality one. Saber stands in front of the store, mouth agape. I'm not sure if her shoulders are trembling because she's angry or excited. Just can't tell.
シロ、ここは
Yes, Build-A-Bears are still around. There's one in a mall not too far from, here. I would love someone to take me to a Build-A-Bear. That sounds delightful.
街で一番品揃えのいいぬいぐるみ屋だってさ。男子禁制らしいんで立ち寄ったことはなかったけど。
Ilya's gonna be so fucking pissed when she finds out Shiro went to Build-A-Bear without her. Obviously, it's not that men aren't allowed in the store. It's just that most of the customer base are girls, so there's this unspoken rule about men not going inside. Besides, there are only girls in the store right now.
I think the last time I was in a Build-A-Bear was when the How to Train Your Dragon movie with the Light Fury came out, and Elle and I went to go make Light Fury and Toothless Build-A-Bears. I can't remember if we did that before or after the movie. End of sentence. But allegedly, I don't know who told me this. It might have been my coworker's wife when we were hanging out on Tuesday, but allegedly they're bringing back the Vulpix plushies to Build-A-Bear, and I have to go and get one because honestly, hang on, wait a second, I have to Google this now. Sorry, taking a quick Google break to Build-A-Bear Pokemon. Oh my gosh, you can get an Eevee plushie at Build-A-Bear too. No, go away. I don't... Sure. All the cookies, that's fine. I'll just get all later. You can get Eevees.
You want cookies? I've got some shortbread cookies. You can get those.
If they're the same shortbread cookies you've had for over a decade, I think I'll pass. I just got over one stomach virus. I don't need another, thank you.
They're unopened. They're probably fine.
Okay, so the current Build-A-Bear plushies, and I'll take a look at what you sent me in a second, are Eevee, Mimikyu, which you can put in a top hat, Lucario, sorry, not
That's
Riolu, Teddy Ursa, Sprigatito, Yamper, Giant Charizard, Dragonite, Cubone, Scorbunny, Blue Coco, 25th anniversary celebration Pikachu plush bundle. I'm not seeing the full thing. I should check what bio sent me. I should. The Yamper. Look at you. Look at the little Yamper. Okay. I should focus.
Yes, on the Vulpix plushie.
I couldn't find it and I'm upset. Now I'm sad.
Saber, with her beautiful blonde hair, is drawing attention while I'm drawing glares for being a guy.
No, I don't think Inu's paying for Willow to get a Build-A-Bear Eevee. In fact, I'm fairly certain Inu's not going to be doing that.
Well, see, we don't have profits from the channel to spend, because nothing's monetized, so...
Start a Patreon solely for the purpose of getting Willow a plushie. The Willow plushie fund.
They must all be trying to keep me out of their sanctuary. And I can't agree more.
100% of the proceeds from the Patreon go to getting Willow plushies.
Even I don't think guys should be in a store like this.
ま、せっかく来たんだから周りは気にせず見て回ろう。そういえば好きな動物っているか？
その主に獅子やヒョウなどは愛らしいと思っているのですが、おかしいでしょうか。
I find myself turning away and fighting not to laugh. Not sure why Saber liking lions is strange. These stuffed animals aren't even vaguely sword-shaped. I just don't get this appeal, frankly. Well, maybe if they had, you know, Hone Edge as an option at Build-A-Bear, Shiro would care.
シロ、今の行為は不自然です。何か言われのない怒りを覚えるのですが、私の気のせいでしょうか。
You should be enjoying the plushies more.
いや、悪い悪い。ライオンってのがあんまりにもセイバーらしかったんで、つい笑っちまった。
人の趣味を笑うのは良くないことです、シロ。それにライオンも悪くありません。
Oh, we have a new person in chat. It's a name I don't recognize.
だからすまなかったって。お詫びにいいとこに連れてくから、それで機嫌を直してくれ。
I try to fight down my laughter and walk into the store. Let's see. Looks like animal stuffed toys are over there. And it takes about an hour to get from one end of the store to the other. Jesus fucking Christ, how big is this store?
So it could take substantially longer.
It's like a 3-mile long store.
No, Inu. Saber just keeps stopping to look at all the stuffies. And he keeps having to drag her further away. And then she stops because she wants to look at the stuffies. It would probably take about that long to get me through a store with lots of stuffies.
Animal stuffed toys are over there. What do you mean over there? It's literally the only thing they have in here. Also, you haven't moved. I watch in silence as Saber stares at the stuffed animals, while I worry about the dozen or so sets of prying eyes staring at me from around the store. I've never been so exhausted in my life as I am today. The terrifying thing is that we've only made it through half of the store. You just said you got from one end to the other in an hour. How are you now only halfway through the store? Oh, I get it. The store is actually just an infinite loop. Like, you get to the far end and it just loops you back to the first end. Saber frequently is paralyzed. That is, she often stops and stares at the stuffed animal. Even after all this time, we're only halfway through the store. Is it just me, or are those ones on the lower shelf, in the forefront there? Do those look like Lapanese to you?
A little bit, yes. Would women really glare at a guy being at a Build-A-Bear when he's clearly on a date?
Yes.
No, probably not.
Yes, because they're all mad that they have to pay for their own Build-A-Bear. While that
Actually,
bitch gets
you
her
know
paid
what?
for her.
Accurate.
It's probably the same thing as going to a Toys R Us back in the day. It's not actually that big, but it takes forever to get through because you keep stopping. No, I don't stop to mess with stuff. I go straight to the electronics section and mess with stuff there.
you know, accurate though. Because all the other adult women that would be in the Build-A-Bear getting things would be looking at the girl clearly on a date, pissed that she's getting stuff for free.
Right. Exactly.
Well, it is nice to see you in chat. We always love seeing new people around here. Also, well, clearly you knew it's just boring. You've been watching his channel for how long and you're just now figuring this out, Bio?
Saber seems very interested in the other half of the store, so I guess I'll just hang around while she does what she wants here.
That's right, don't you dare rush her. It's weird that I'm suddenly, so vehemently on Saber's side.
歩き通して疲れてしまったとか。
ああ、ちょっと疲れた。こんな程度で値を上げるほどやわじゃないんだけどな。ここは特別だ。やっぱり慣れないことはするもんじゃないのか。
I heave a sigh. I don't mind people staring at us when we're just walking around, but I'm uncomfortable with it when we're in this girly shop. When you're mentally drained, the first part of your body that feels it is your legs.
I disagree. When I'm mentally drained, the first part of my body that feels it is my head.
I disagree. When I'm mentally drained, the first part of my body that feels it is...
You know! Let's see. Because Artoria's interests in your own so rarely overlap like this, Willow, that's true. Classic tomboy trope, but make it cute and tsundere because it's Japanese, yeah.
そういうセイバーは大丈夫か？こういう店初めてだろ？疲れたんなら言ってくれ。
確かに私も落ち着きませんが、シローの方が居心地が悪そうです。ここだけまさかとは思うのですが、シローは自分で行きたくない場所を選んでいるのではないですか？
Got you
Suddenly,
there.
those words dispel all the worries and mental exhaustion I felt earlier.
And you're about to get, ridiculously into plushies to try and make her feel better.
そうだな。正直に言えば、あえて苦手なところを選んでるけど。
やはりどうかしていますシロー。慣れないと分かっていて、なぜこのような場所ばかり選ぶのです。それではあなたが。
いや、だって女の子にはこういう場所のが似合うだろう。遊びに行こうって連れ出したのは俺なんだから。今日はセイバーの日なわけだし。それにそう居心地悪くないぞ。セイバーがいるから大丈夫。隣にこれだけ美人がいるんだから、妬まれることはあれ、場違いだって思われることもないし。
何をバカな。武装していなくても私はサーバントです。いかに非戦闘時だからといって私を女性扱いする必要はありません。
普段通りサーバントとして扱ってくださ
No
い。
problem. He never treats you like a servant. He barely treats you like a person.
バカはそっちだ。普段通りも何もセイバーは初めっから女の子じゃないか。別に今日だけ気を使ってるわけじゃないし、今日の
You
俺って
obviously are, though.
No, he's treating her the same way he always treats her.
He's not.
She's bewildered. Saber's mouth hangs open, as if she's only just now realizing this.
いえ、同じです。あなたはいつも通りの白でした。
See?
No, he's being much pushier than usual, Saber.
だろ。だから俺に気を使う必要なんてないぞ。ほら、それじゃ行こう。一番気に入ったものを買うんだから、あと半分も見ないとダメだろ。
I take Saber's hand. She offers no objection as I tug her along.
She can't find her favorite thing if you drag her away from all the things, Shiro.
Sure she can. It's over there.
No. Inu, I know you had stuffed animals, still do, in fact. But I also know you've never spent as much time stuffed animal shopping as me. You have to pick up, squeeze, and hug all of them to figure out which one of the identical plushies is the most huggable.
No, it's just the one that looks like Mimikyu.
No, you pick up all the plushies, and you hug them to your chest, and you give them a little snuggle with your cheek. And then you do the same thing to all the other plushies in the bin. It's how you find the softest, snuggliest one.
It's also how you get COVID.
It's also how you find the perfect cat. That is one of the things I did, was I went and snuggled all the kitties, and then took home the kitty that snuggled back the most.
No, you didn't. You took on the one that walked in as you were leaving.
That is true. But
This is not what happened at all.
But I did also play with her quite a bit before I claimed her, and she was the snuggliest. She's still the snuggliest. She just doesn't love snuggling. Which is why when she does snuggle, it's the best thing in the world. And I was cuddled up with both her and JJ on the couch today, where Vivi was on my lap and JJ was curled up like right into this bit here, and it was so snuggly and warm. Got my cat because 3 families brought back the cat. We went and got him. 3 families brought the kitty back? That's so sad. I hope it's the best kitty and you give it all the snuggles and love and attention, because that is what good kitties get.
そうでした。初めからそうだったのに、今になって気がつくなんて。
She murmurs to herself, sounding dazed. The uncomfortable day passes by in a flurry. Saber never laughs, not once during the whole day, so neither do I.
Except that time you laughed at Saber.
Not even once.
He's stubborn and scratches you a lot. Well, he's probably scared. He's been rejected a bunch, so he's still learning to trust me.
Just go get some of those little, like, nail cover things. Really hard to scratch past those. No part of the day was particularly memorable, but neither was there any painfully boring aspect. Basically, nothing significant happened. The way it went, maybe Saber would have been happy if we stayed in the dojo and trained together.
yes, she likes that. That might have been a good idea. You know, your usual training routine, but throw Reen and Ilya out of the house, set up a cutesy little table in the corner or in the garden somewhere with really nice special lunch and really good desserts and some chocolate. And that would also have been an excellent idea for a date because it would have taken into account her interests and food. Like, pretty hard to fail if you nail those two things right on a date.
We're learning things here, chat. Beating your date up with sticks is a good idea.
If fighting is something she's passionate about, yes, actually.
Just remember, grab a wooden stick and beat your date with it, and that helps to enhance the date. That's what we've learned. But today wasn't all that bad either. Even if it didn't end up being all that exciting, I should be proud that I at least managed to take Saber around.
Besides, a date that involves sparring would inevitably result in physical activity, release of endorphins, and a release of endorphins makes people happy. Happy people are more likely to be easily romanced and or seduced.
Dating Artori is basically just the same thing as dating Goku if you think about it. Well, yeah, but that's easy. You don't date Goku. You just tell him when you're both children that he's going to marry you someday, and then he does because, I don't know, he didn't have a choice. So what Shiro needs to do is just tell Artoria that she's going to marry him, and then she will. Problem solved.
I'd like to think she has better standards than that.
No, Bio said she's Goku. She has no standards, clearly. After the war is over and once everything goes back to normal, I don't want to look back on all this and realize that all the time I spent with Saber was in combat.
So, just for whatever reason, it just came to my mind. I'd been joking with Inu before we put audio live for the stream that I'd genuinely been debating because I remembered absolutely nothing about what we did last week on stream. That I genuinely debated messaging Bio earlier in the day and asking him to write a quick recap for last week for me to read. And ultimately, or the last session we played, before ultimately deciding that would have ended really poorly for me because it probably would have included something to the effect of Willow then spends 30 minutes ranting about nothing and or being frustrated with the series. So, I did think about it, though, because I really, like, even when Inu was talking about us talking to what's-his-face at the church, I was like, I genuinely remember none of that.
Here, I got you.
So...
I got you. Here's the entire recap from last week.
Okay.
It's just Kirei's face with Yorokobe Shonen underneath it. That was the entire recap. We talked to Kirei. It's pretty much all that happened. You just tell him when you're children you're gonna get married, and then he does because, I don't know, probably because of the brain damage. Or the brain damage. Or the brain damage. Maybe even the brain damage.
You know.
So yeah. I should be proud of myself. The end is near. The end is near! Danger! Danger! The end times are upon us!
Just saying, if you're wrapping up a date with someone and one of your thoughts is the end is nigh, it's probably not an indicator the date went well.
Oh fuck! End times are upon us! We're all going to die! The end is near!
Wow, Shiro. How do you always manage to get absolutely everything wrong?
Think about nicely folded shirts. When everything is done, and when there's no need to fight anymore, I'll have a nicely folded shirt. If Saber can look back on this moment, that's enough for me. but she can't. But actually, I guess she can, because she'll go back to die on a hill and then go to the Throne of Heroes.
With all of
and
these
then have the memories
intact.
of this.
Yep.
So, congratulations. You will have actually accomplished that. Good for you. Mission accomplished. The end is nigh. Oh, death approaches. We walk back home. Just as we're trying to get on the bus.
帰りは歩いていきましょう。
Saber finally voices a preference. The winds are picking up. The brilliant sunset paints the bridge red, as does the literal red paint on the bridge. Saber notices something, stops, and looks over the bridge into the river.
Look at all the corpses at the bottom of it.
Hero, there's a drowning child down there. She's looking at a mountain of rubble. I say it's a mountain, but the pile isn't really that high. Steel frames and other things are piled up just a little below the water level, and it's only slightly disturbing the flow of the river. I don't know what happened, but some boat probably sank, and then pieces of it drifted here. I hear some of the neighboring residents have been complaining, trying to get rid of the pile since it's so unsightly.
なんだよ、セイバー。あれが気になったのか。
いえ、まだ残っていたのかと。あれの原因は私ですから。前回の戦いで水上戦を余儀なくされ、ここで宝具を使ってしまった。
Ah, see that crap in the river? That was me. It me. Yeah, this is the river where Artoria fought Cthulhu. That's true.
Huh?
Yeah, so, Gilles de Rais was the caster in the previous war. But crazy Gilles de Rais, who, like, lost his mind after Joan got burned at the stake. And he summoned Cthulhu. And then Artoria fought Cthulhu. Yeah, Artoria kind of sort of killed the 20-story tall Cthulhu monster here. Not a big deal.
I'm struggling to understand how Cthulhu and Gilles de Rais are in any way, shape, or form related in terms of how they're trying to set up the lore for this universe.
Because
Like-
Gilles de Rais went crazy.
Like, in all fairness, Bellerophon and Medusa is also something of a leap, but
They're both from Greece.
I really don't get the connection between Gilles de Rais and Cthulhu.
It's why Artoria hates takoyaki so much. Tentacles in general just don't mesh with her anymore after the mess from the Fourth Grail War.
被害は川を干上がらせただけでしたが、運悪く停泊していた船を巻き込んでしまったのです。
はあ？巻き込んだって、まさかエクスカリバーにか。
You Excaliblasted a boat?
そうなのですが、幸い乗客はいませんでしたし、被害も大きくなかったんです。私だって、反省しているのですから。
Yeah, the in-universe explanation is that Gilles was taught by Prelati. Not to be confused with Parvati.
Tell. From Harry Potter.
No, not that Parvati. The Parvati that has Sakura's face, because she's using Sakura's body as pseudo-servant. You know, as you do. It's also the least fucked up thing that Gilles did in that war, which should say a lot when the least fucked up thing he did was summon an eldritch horror. Yeah. I should be more careful. When we use Excalibur, I need to be mindful to use it somewhere there's a lot of open space, like out here, where the most we're going to do is blow up somebody's boat and dry up a river.
And explodify a bridge. They are on a bridge.
Yeah, but she didn't blow up the bridge last time.
Did he say at the beginning of the game that this was technically the new bridge? So, theoretically, actually, yes, she did.
No, she didn't blow up the bridge last time.
シロ、まだ怒っていますか？
いや、別に怒ってない。ただ、びっくりしただけだ。あとはまあ、前回の名残って結構あるんだなって。中央公園のあれのに比べたら、川の瓦礫なんて問題じゃないだろう。まあ、船の持ち主は災難だったとは思うが。
Hey, they could blow up the bridge. Not that those things can even withstand someone just thinking at them really hard without something falling apart.
それはご安心を。船の持ち主には保険が下りたと桐継が言っていましたし、もともと緩衝材にするつもりで船を止めさせたのですから。船体を壁に見立てて砲具の威力を削いだのですね。
Yeah, Artori's back was to the bridge. Kiritsugu made sure there was as little collateral damage in that fight. Specifically that fight. Just that one. The other one's not so much, but...
承知していたわけではありません。あれは桐継が私に黙って用意していたものです。
Kiritsugu over there playing 3D chess.
そうですね。桐継には戦いの流れが読めていたのでしょう。船を用意する前もその後も一言も口にしなかったので気がつきませんでしたが。
And then Saber looks down at the river, probably thinking back to that earlier Holy Grail war. The surface of the water glitters with reflected sunlight. The wind coming from the river flutters Saber's hair. She's so beautiful. With her hair fluttering.
今日は楽しかったか?
No! I'm suddenly scared Saber's gonna disappear, so I ask a question it's probably better not to ask.
You didn't buy her a plushie. Of course she's not happy. You took her to a toy store and then didn't get her anything.
Kiritsugu, for better and mostly worse, was really fucking good at the things he did.
何か言いましたか、シロ。
That's a pretty picture.
言った。今日は楽しかったか聞いた。
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Could you ask again? I hold my breath. Saber looks a little confused.
そうですね。新鮮でないと言えば嘘になります。
She says it fondly. Like she knows she'll never have another day like this. Which is exactly why I already knew her answer. The only thing left for me to do is nod in agreement and then walk her home. At the least, things can still go back to normal if I leave it at that.
そうか。
Oh, it's playing the emotional music. I look at Saber and nod.
ならまた行こう。こんなの別に今回限りってわけじゃないんだから。
It's maybe a dangerous thing to say.
So was that a cloud or a ghost that just flew between the two of them?
Yes. It was the ghost of a cloud that got killed when she Excaliblasted the boat 10 years ago. Spooky purple flowers. Saber's expression hardens. I think she realizes what I'm trying to say. She looks directly at me and silently shakes her head. There will not be a second time. This happened today, and that's where it's gonna stay.
それはなぜ?
I know exactly what Saber's gonna say. I know I won't be satisfied with her answer, but I ask anyway.
なぜも何もない。サーバントは戦うために存在するものです。今日のような行為は自らの存在を否定することになる。シローが休憩すべきだと判断したから従いましたが、もうこの先は体を休める必要はないでしょう。残る敵は少ない。シローが命じるなら 今すぐにでもランサーを探し出したいほどですわ。
She focuses on me, eyes blazing with her fighting spirit. Saber's saying that she can head into battle anytime if she's ordered to. And that really sets off my anger.
なんだよそれ。そんなに戦いたいのか、お前は。
当然でしょう。戦えば戦うほど聖杯に近づくのです。私にとって戦闘は何よりも優先すべきことです。
When Shiro ever understood anything? Artoria.
ああ、分かってる。だからおかしいんだ。前から言いたかったんだけどな。矛盾してるぞ、お前。セイバーは戦いが大事だって言う割に、自分から戦いたいなんて思ってないだろう。他に手段がないから、いやいや戦ってるに過ぎないんじゃないのか。
そんなことはありません。私は戦闘をためらわない。勝利するためならば手段は選ばないと言ったでしょう。
Yeah, she did say that. But that doesn't mean she likes fighting.
できる範囲でだろ。いいか、セイバー。単純に他のマスターを倒して聖杯を手に入れるって言うんならさ、ライダーみたいに人を襲って力を得ればいい。だけど、セイバーはそれが嫌なんだろ。
He has a point. I mean, she says she'll do whatever she has to win, but that's clearly not true. That is itself a contradiction.
Sure, but I'd also make the argument she'd do whatever was reasonable within her morals.
Which is not what she said.
それは
無関係な人間を巻き込みたくないんじゃない。いざ戦いになれば人は死ぬものだとお前はよく分かっている。そうだからこそお前は戦闘を最小限に抑えたがっていた。戦えば死者は出る。だから早く終わらせたいって。つまりさ、お前は犠牲者が出る戦いってやつがたまらなく怖いんだ。
Saber's eyes grow wide, like she's seen a ghost, the one that came between us earlier, but
And then
quickly
again.
narrow. She grits her teeth. Fucking ghost, man!
私は
Get out of here.
戦いを怖がってなどいません。
そうだな。確かにお前は初めから怖がってなんていなかったと思う。そんな個人の恐怖なんて王の使命とやらで塗りつぶされていたんだろうから。だけどそれでもお前は戦いを嫌ってる。お前は単に強くて戦いが上手かっただけだ。けどはっきり言うぞ、お前は戦いになんて向いていない。本当は剣を取ることさえ嫌だったはずだ。
Leave her the fuck alone and stop minimizing her choices, you pretentious douche.
「戦うことだけが目的だっていうのはお前自身がお前をごまかすための言い分に過ぎない。
On top of that, why didn't anyone around her, even herself, figure it out and just say something? Fucking ghost!
いくらあなたでもそれ以上の侮辱は許しません。
図星だから我慢できないんだろう。認めたら戦えなくなるからな。
I hear a grinding sound. Saber's glaring at me, trying to hold back her anger.
Throw him off the bridge, he deserves it.
I can't back down now. I know I'm right. I can't back down.
だからやめろよ。 お前だって辞めたがってるんだろう。剣なんて自分に向いてないって分かってるんだろう。サーバントなんて辞めて、もっと自分に向いたことをしろ。
It's not too late for her to try and find whatever real human happiness she's always wanted. And for that, I would...
バカなことを。私に戦う以外の選択肢などありません。この王の誓いを守るためにこの身を差し出した。それ以外の自分の使い道など私には許されない。
She's just an object seeking to obtain the Grail. That's what ticked me off the most. Why does she talk like she's only trying to convince herself? Everyone around her took her at her word because she kept insisting on stuff like this.
バカ、そんなことあるか。道なんていくらでもある。お前はここにいるんだ。昔のお前とは違う。
Shiro, she's here because she made a contract to get the Grail. If she gives up on the contract to get the Grail, there will be no reason for her to be summoned here, and she'll probably just get yeeted back to the hill and die.
Yeah, at least getting the Grail gives her the ability to go to the Throne of Heroes and continue existing in any capacity.
なあ、これからは自分のために生きなきゃダメだ。
She is! She's trying to get the Grail. Just because you don't approve of her reasons doesn't make them any less valid, you misogynistic piece of shit.
間違っても聖杯を。
What I say next is what I hope for most.
どうでもいい他人のためなんかには使うな。ここにいるなら、セイバーはここで幸せにならなきゃダメだ。
My ears pick up the sound of wind. Saber doesn't answer. She doesn't nod. She only looks straight in my eyes.
その言葉にはうなずけない。私はあなたに従うと契約した。だが、心まで預けたわけではありません、マスター。
Saber speaks slowly and clearly.
王の誓いは破れない。私には王として果たさなければならない責務がある。アーサー王の目的は聖杯の入手です。それが叶おうとも、私はアルトリアに戻ることはないでしょう。私の望みは初めから一つだけ。剣を手にした時から、この誓いは永遠に変わらないのですから。
なんでだよ。セイバーがやらなくちゃいけないことはそんなんじゃないだろう。そんな。
How does she have to
最
tell
後まで
you
報われ
no?
ないなんて間違ってる。お前には聖杯なんて必要ない。それに
Besides, Saber's wish won't come true. What's already happened can't be changed.
セイバー、起きてしまったことをやり直すなんてできないんだ。
いいえ、決してそんなことは。
なら言ってやる。たとえどんなにひどい結末だろうと、起きてしまったことを変えるなんてできない。できなかったからやり直しがしたいなんて、そんなのは子供のわがままと同じじゃないか。
We're at an impasse. Saber doesn't say anything more, and I don't have any more to say. The sound of the wind stops. Or rather, it pauses for a moment. And then the ghost runs by again. An instant later, it picks back up. Just as I feel the wind on my cheek,
シローならわ かってくれると思っていた。
It becomes a headwind.
Oh, hi, Mar.
今日一日無意に過ごし、言いたかったことはそれだけですか？
Her voice is cold. I hear only rejection in it.
思い上がらないでほしい。あなた程度の人間に私の何がわかるというのです。あなたに私に踏み入る権利などない。戦うなですか？私に守られなければならない未熟なマスターが何を。そのような世まい事を吐くのは一人で戦えるようになってからにしてください。まあそんなことは永遠にありえないでしょうが。
Time you clap fucking back, Saber.
違う。世まいごとって俺は。
ですから世まい事でしょう。自分のことを考えろですって。あなたは自分の命が感情に入っていない。
Very true.
あなたは私が間違っていると言いますが、あなたの方こそ何かを間違っている。
Mm-hmm.
自身より他人を優先するなど死者の考えだ。自身の命の重みも知らない大バカ者がよくもそんなことを言えたものです。
セイバー、お前。
勘に触りましたか。ならいっそのこと契約を解除しても構いません。どうせあなたは聖杯を必要としていない。あとは私一人でマスターを破り聖杯を手に入れるだけですから。そんなに戦うのが嫌ならばあなたは遠くで隠れていればいいでしょう。
セイバー、お前それ本気で言ってるのか？
My voice trembles. My teeth are rattling. I'm angrier than I realized.
当然です。私の目的は聖杯だけ。それ以外のことなど余計だ。シロ、それはあなたも例外ではありません。
I struggle to breathe. I try to fight blackness encroaching on my vision, try to get my heart beating again.
この分からずや。へい、そんなに戦いたいってんなら勝手にしろ。もう俺は知らないからな。
I can't keep my emotions under control. I yell out some sort of lame excuse and then turn and run. I run away from her. And for an instant, I think I see Saber just standing there, dumbfounded. I just run. I don't know why I'm mad, only that I am. So I run in a fit of rage.
それ以外のことなど余計だ。シロ、それはあなたも。
When you say that Germany voted for new federal government, what exactly does that mean? Is the entirety of the German government like, are you changing government structure? Or did
Well,
leadership just
dictatorship
change?
is all the rage these days, so...
Ugh. We're in the middle of a hostile government takeover. Oh, just new parliament, that's fine.
Honestly, I'm getting dizzy just thinking back on what she said. I'm so unfocused I might run into a pole or something. Well, it would be easy if I could do that. If I was only angry at Saber, I should have taken it out on her like an idiot and just been done with it. But something else caused my fit of rage. I'm not mad at Saber. I'm so frustrated that I keep running and I don't allow myself to catch my breath because I know I'm a spineless good for nothing.
Well, that's been true the entire game, Shiro. There's no point in getting mad at yourself about it now.
Saber just stands there, gaping at me. I heard her faintly, just as the wind changed directions.
シロなら分かってくれると思っていた。
くそ、そんなのわかるか、バカ。
I immediately regret my words and nearly trip. What did those words mean?
Maybe that she knows you essentially want to be a superhero and save everybody, and effectively that's all she's trying to do?
They'd sounded like parting words, but also like she'd been about to cry. Now that I think back, that was probably the only honest thing she'd said. She'd hung her head as she muttered that to me. Her voice was a mixture of exasperation, expectation, disappointment, and pleading. And then, who was the betrayer and who was betrayed? I run into my room and slam the sliding door. I flop onto the floor, arms and legs splayed. I'm tired of standing. I just want to lie down and go right to sleep. But even when I lie down, my body's on fire. My heart feels like it's about to burst and my lungs are desperate to take in oxygen. I ran back here at full speed, not even pausing once, so I can't blame my body for the discomfort. I feel like I still haven't run enough, but my body's telling me to slow down. It takes a bit, but I manage to calm down. I take a deep breath, hold it, then release it. After my breathing calms down, there's just one thing left swirling in my head, and it's a simple question. What am I really angry about? It's not really something I need to think about. I was running because I know I'm helpless. I can't help Saber. It's so frustrating. I'm angry with myself. I can't do anything. I said I was gonna make her smile. I decided to protect her, but I couldn't do anything, and that's making me so angry.
けど、どうしろってんだ。セイバー自身が自分の幸せを求めていない限り、他人がどうこう言っても無駄だってのに。
That's why I tried to help Saber find happiness on her own. But she told me those efforts were futile, even called me an idiot.
自身の命の重みも知らない大バカ者。
But what do I do with all of that? I value my life and I don't want to do anything to end it. And my life has nothing to do with Saber.
Correct. That was Saber's point. Is your lives really can't have anything to do with one another long term.
Bringing my circumstances into this wasn't fair. No matter how stupid I am, I know for sure that Saber's wrong.
So, Willow, you seeing Shiro in a better light right now? No! Still dislike him.
But when she outright rejects me like that, there's not really anything I can do.
くそ。もう勝手にしろ。
I roll over to lay flat on my face.
Oh. Saber's VA ships Saber with the with Golden Archer Boy. Interesting.
Now all I see is the tatami mat, so I might as well close my eyes and empty my mind.
You know, I could see myself potentially shipping Saber and Golden Boy. Except, how would that relationship even work? The only reason he even knows who the fuck she is because they were both in the last Grell War and he's stuck around. Somehow. Still pretty sure he's murdering orphans, but...
I don't care what happens to Saber.
That's what my theory from the last stream was murder orphaning?
Murder orphaning.
Or was murdering orphans. Better known as murder orphaning.
Shiro objectifies Saber, supports a man who literally objectifies Saber. Yeah.
Listen. Genuinely, in this instance, it's more that I think it's more like whoever Golden Archer Boy is he objectifying Saber? Yes. Do I have issue with that?
No.
Yes. No, I do. But the difference is that Golden Archer Boy at least lives in the same sort of version of the world as Saber, as Artoria, because he understands what it means to be a servant. And like,
well, she doesn't, because she's not, technically.
But the point kind of remains that objectively the two of them are also a rough pairing, because between summons of the Grail, he'd completely forget who she is. Presumably.
If the Holy Grail's so important, then she should just marry it. If she's gonna be this stubborn after I've told her this so many times, I should just stay out of it, or I'll end up getting burned.
Also, Shiro isn't emotionally mature enough to be in a serious and committed relationship, because that if she likes it so much, why doesn't she just marry it, is a very juvenile elementary school student response to being rejected. Like, it's very juvenile.
Actually, I might not get out of that mess with only a burn. I might actually get really hurt. I've already gotten hurt. This is worse than just getting burned. I met her, fought with her multiple times, and to survive, I saw into the depths of her heart in a moment of incredible intimacy. I remember her heat, the light deep inside of her, the fucking CGI dragon that tried to murder me.
I see what's happening here. He's equating sex and love.
As 15-year-olds are wont to do. I don't know why I'm remembering this right now. There's a faraway grassy field, memories of a girl left behind. The moment I think back to that beauty, nothing matters anymore. What Saber says doesn't matter.
何が戦うだけのものだ。それなら半端に弱い部分なんて見せるなって言うんだ。
Saber's just unfair. I don't know what exactly is unfair about her, but I know something is.
You got rejected, so you're saying she's cheating and she's being unfair. No, she rejected you. A thing she has every fucking right to do.
Angry as I am, I can't hate her. The more I want to forget her, the harder it gets. It's all tangled up.
畜生。惚れた方が負けってこういうことか。
That is 90% of falling in love, yes.
But I can't help it. I can't give up no matter how many times she tells me it's useless. I just have to see it through to the end.
シロなら分かってくれると思っていた。
I remember her face there, on the verge of tears. I mean, will she make that face every time I do something like this?
それでもだ。どんなことになってもうなずくわけにはいかない。
I'm going to keep doing this, even if I'm wrong.
Consent! My dude! She's rejected you, move on!
She's really important to me. I'll never apologize to her. Man!
Those two statements contradict each other!
I think I hear a sound. I'm not sure when the sun set, but the room's gone dark. The ticking of the clock is getting annoying.
ちょっと、いつまで寝ぼけてるのよ。いい加減起きてもらわないと困るんだけど。だから起きなさいって。もう10時過ぎよ。ご飯を食べさせろってイリアがうるさいんだから、起きて相手をしてあげなさい。
She sounds upset. I snap to full wakefulness.
10時過ぎ
I jump up.
そう。正確には22時17分。夕飯の時間にしては論外ね。
Tosaka stands over me, looking annoyed.
すまん、寝てた。すぐに行くから今で待っててくれ。
それはいいけど、シロ、セイバーは？
ん？いや、ここにいないんなら道場か今じゃないのか。
シロ、私はセイバーがいないから聞いてるの。
Tosaka's serious. And I instantly realize what that means.
まさか、あいつ帰ってきてないのか。
ちょっとシロ、帰ってきてないってどういうことよ。
Tosaka runs out of the room after me. There's no time to explain. I ignore Tosaka's yelling behind me and I rush outside. The town is quiet. Just like yesterday, there's absolutely nobody around. I don't have the patience to think about how odd that is. Saber hasn't come home yet. I actually don't blame her. We had a huge argument. She said she was gonna fight alone. Knowing her, she'd do it too. Saber's nowhere to be found. If I can't find her, that might mean she's actually fighting Lancer, the final servant, as we speak.
Well, finals. A term.
But I head straight to one more place. The air near the river is cold. The night is chilly, and when I passed the park, it was so cold the entire place felt like it was covered in frost. My cheeks and ears sting with the cold, and my breath mists white. If it's that cold in the park, I can't imagine how absolutely freezing it's going to be on the bridge, with the wind blowing up from the river. There, I see her. She's right where she'd been standing when I ran away. Saber leans on the rail and just gazes out over the water. Maybe she's following the sun, which is long set. She's staring off into the distance, her eyes fixed on a red horizon that's long since vanished. And that's when I realize Saber's strong, but she's weak too. Her dignified appearance is just her way of trying to prove she can get by without anyone's help. But at the same time, she's so fragile she might slip through my fingers if I reach for her. She can't do things alone, but she'll probably keep the front up till the very end. So, just like me, she'd been staring up at the unchangeable stars, or unreachable stars, rather. All she does is look at the setting sun as if it's all she knows how to do. I can't leave her alone. If our argument needs a loser, then it's unquestionably me. It's led to me swearing never to let her make that face again. I step out onto the bridge. Saber doesn't seem to hear my footsteps. I approach without a word and lean on the rail next to her.
Saber, 体冷えるぞ。
She jumps in surprise. Saber finally notices me.
シロ、
She turns toward me.
何してんだよ、こんな時間まで。いつまでも帰ってこないから、遠坂が心配してたぞ。
そうですか。それは悪いことをした。
別にいいけどな。けど、なんだってこんなところにいたんだ、お前は。
はい。ここにいたのは、まだ行き先が決まっていなかったからです。シロは勝手にしろと言ったでしょう。ですから勝手にしようと思ったのです。けれど何をするべきか、何をしたいのか、どこに行きたいのか思い浮かばず、ずっとどこに行くべきかを考えていました。
She sounds like a lost child. Saber doesn't look me in the eyes as she speaks. Maybe she feels guilty. Maybe she does after the fight we had. I can't blame her for thinking I must be angry.
申し訳ありません。リンには世話になったと伝えてください。ランサーを倒し、聖杯を手に入れたのなら、シローのもとに戻ります。ですから、それまで。
She's saying that she intended to wander around alone without anywhere to go home to? Idiot.
何言ってるんだ。お前が帰るところは俺んちだろ。飯だって布団だって、ちゃんとセイバーの分を用意してんだから。
ですが、シローはもう私のことなど知らないと。
そうだよ。セイバーが何考えてるか、俺にはわからない。
I say that, and then I take her hand.
シロー、
うちに帰るぞ。 いくらサーバントだからってこんなに冷えたら風邪をひく。早く戻ってあったかいものでも食べよう。
No, Inu very rarely says bless you when I sneeze.
ですが私は。
それと言っとくけど俺は謝らな
I
い
think
か
it's
らな。
because he knows that the phrase stemmed from the old school belief that when you sneezed, you were expelling your soul from your body, and that if people didn't say, God bless you, or as the full phrase originally was, God bless you, may the devil never take you, he fully believes that I'm literally just sneezing my soul out of my body for the devil to take.
文句があるなら今のうちに言っとけよ。
I subscribe more to the theory that cameras take your soul.
I mean,
It's an old Native American one, I think.
I believe so, but the other thing about that, though, is if you look back at the oldest old school photos, it did kind of look like you were stealing people's souls, so... What? And yes, that's actually a thing. Both the God bless you, may the devil never take you, and the photography steals your soul thing are actual things people believed.
Well, I mean, so is all of the birds having been replaced with government drones.
Now
That's a
that
thing
one's ridiculous.
That's a thing that people actually believe.
That's
Or that we landed on the moon. That's a thing that people actually believe.
that one's believable.
No,
But no, I absolutely-
It was a soundstage.
I absolutely sneeze my soul out of my body every time I sneeze, and I'm barely holding on to the tiniest fragment of it these days because my brother sitting next to me here never says God bless you.
I'm crude about it, but I try to avoid her gaze.
Also, Jansen's tinfoil hat time with Inu.
She stares at me, confused. Saber looks like she wants to apologize, but I ignore her. Maybe that works in my favor.
I had to have misread that comment. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense when I read it where the font isn't ridiculously small. I did read that comment as soul. Only thing in my soul slot is a pack of Doritos family sized. That did not in fact say soul slut.
Soul slut, huh? I mean, that's where I keep my pack of Doritos family sized, as well as in my soul slut. She doesn't say anything, she just follows me in silence, holding my hand. Is that like a soulmate, but like... But...
Dirtier?
But also soulmates with other people, like a soul slut? That's my soul slut. She also happens to be soul sluts with like 3 friends of mine, and we keep our bags of Doritos in her in case we need them later. It's like the Mormon version of like a soulmate. Is a soul slut, right?
I'm just trying to make sure how uncomfortable it would have to be storing family-sized bags of Doritos somewhere inside a person that's retrievable. Just, ow! Like,
Just try really hard not to like crush the bag, you know? Get shards of like tortilla chip in there.
ow! That's physically painful to think about.
We head across the bridge and into the park.
Murder Park?
It's 11 o'clock. There's nobody in the park, but it's packed with plenty of decorations, like fountains and streetlights. You know, decorations. I walk briskly. Saber's steps are sluggish. She stood on that bridge for more than 5 hours. She must be freezing and tired. When I tug on her hand, she occasionally stumbles, like she's about to fall down.
セイバー、もう少しゆっくり歩こうか。なんか調子が良くなさそうだし。
I turn toward her as I speak.
いえ、体はとても元気です。ただリンの言葉に踊らされるわけではありませんが、こうして手をつないでいると本当に合いびきのようだなと。
Yeah. Also, kind of worth reminding you, Shiro, she's married. So,
Yeah, but her wife also ran off with another man.
Yeah, but all of this indecent hand-holding from the time period she's in, like, yeesh.
Well, he's also Japanese, so yeesh. And just like that, my face turns bright, hot red.
そうだな。手離そうか。セイバーが迷惑だったらの話だけど。
Oh, blinking animation.
いいえ、私もこうしている方がいいです。シロウの手は温かくて安心します。
And there, our conversation ends. I resume heading home, just to cover my embarrassment. Saber follows in silence. I'm not even sure how much farther it is to the house. A little embarrassed by the warmth of our clasped hands, we both leave the park. Murder Park? A lot's happened today. But if we're ending the day with warmth like this, hell, I'll change religions and thank the priest who, indirect as he may be, allowed this moment to happen. Of course, the second I think that...
どこに行く? 勝手に人のものを持っていくな、小僧。
There he is.
There he is.
Hi, Goldie.
We run into someone we never should have. The elation I'd felt vanishes and my mind goes blank. Goosebumps cover my body and I realize I've forgotten how to breathe.
シロ、
No, that says Shro. Saber, standing behind me, probably feels the same. She grips my hand tightly in her own. The same way I feel a sense of impending death, Saber feels the inevitable despair.
待たせたな、セイバー。約束通り、こうして迎えに来てやったぞ。
あーちゃ。
Look at this fucking guy. The man in gold.
With his Saiyan-ass looking hair.
The man in gold who's currently wearing white, black, and gray. He's not in gold.
So, here's the thing.
The only gold on him is his earrings.
I actually really like his design and his casual clothes.
These are not the casual clothes of his that I particularly care for.
He looks much, much, much better out of that ridiculous golden armor.
Yes, but this is not even his good casual clothes, right? These are his inferior casual clothes.
Like, looking at him doesn't give me a headache in this outfit. Also, I kind of low-key love his earrings. Genuinely, a guy that can rock an earring is sexy as hell.
Now, There's his good casual clothes.
Is he still wearing earrings in that? He's not.
He's not.
This is the significantly better outfit. It's got a furry collar and earrings.
Definitely black coat. Black coat, hair down.
Hair down is a really good look for him. But that other outfit would be better with a fur collar and earrings. Earrings are such a good look on
Also,
guys.
just while I've got some concept art on that same screen from Takeuchi.
I like the necklace. It's not, and the bracelet. It's not quite a substitute.
Leopard print pants.
The leopard print pants are ridiculous, but add earrings to that, and that's perfect.
Look at the 10-pack on that man.
I have nothing against that if we added earrings. Not necessarily the dangly earrings from in that, because that would throw off the balance of his outfit there, but like a stud or something.
Hold on. How about dangly earrings, open shirt,
Plus the necklace and the bracelet.
short sleeves, fucking wiggly ass pants.
The wiggly ass pants are the problem in that one.
Okay, how about leopard print suit?
Actually, I'm not mad at that one. That one's okay. I do love that we essentially just played a mini Smasher Pass with just his outfit. Unfortunately, Mar missed it, because Mar left already.
Well, the man in gold. Yeah, we still haven't had his name. Still no name for Goldie. The unidentified heroic spirit who annihilated Castor's bone soldiers and even took out Castor with barely any effort. Now that monster stands in front of us.
Looking sweet as hell.
He's so close. We're at exactly the right distance to begin slashing at each other at any moment. Death looms right in front of us, even more than when we faced Berserker. Oh, death approaches! The end is nigh!
The way every date ends, apparently.
As all dates end, the end is near.
どうしたセイバー。俺がわざわざ出向いてやったのだ。いつまでも黙っているのは無礼であろう。それとも俺のものになる前に少しばかり遊ぶつもりか？騎士王よ。
Archer stifles a laugh.
Again, consent is a thing.
Hiro, you saw this guy fight. You know he can slash you from basically any distance. He's not even looking at me. Saber is his only focus. Yeah, Archer doesn't care about you. He admires her like she's a piece of art. Saber's demeanor changes. She must have made up her mind. She's already determined the man in front of us is an enemy, while I've hardly moved a muscle.
シロ、何としても衝撃だけは防ぎます。その隙にあなただけは離脱してください。それがどれほど困難かは分かっていますが、あのサーバント相手ではそれが精一杯なのです。
I can hear the apology in her voice for not being able to do more. Even someone as powerful as Saber can only block his first attack. My chances of getting away from this guy are slim at best. Hey, Waver managed it, so, you know. Saber is asking me to forgive her for what is about to happen. She probably knows there's no way for her to defeat the man in gold. I can't let her do that. This is different than when we fought Berserker. I know, though I don't have proof, that making Saber fight this servant can only end badly. Actually, I do have proof. I know from seeing his noble phantasm last night. Saber can't beat him right now. This is not a matter of her skills as a knight. That's not even the right way to look at this. No heroic spirit, so long as they remain a heroic spirit, can beat the man in gold. Okay, Shiro, I know Artori has typically been super wrong pretty much every time she's told you not to get involved before now, but you should really, really listen to her this time.
Shiro!
I cover Saber and face Archer.
ほう、そうか。マスターがいたのだったな。あまりのみすぼらしさゆえ、犬か何かだと思ったぞ。
Maybe like a mongrel, perhaps? Maybe little Zashu going on? He smiles cheerfully. He raises an arm and lazily snaps his fingers. I feel sick. I need to leave right now, or I'm dead. There's no rhyme or reason. He quite literally did not even perceive Shiro's existence until he put himself directly between Artoria and Goldie. Yep.
He died as he lived, being stupid.
I just know instinctively that this guy will kill me for standing in front of him like this.
No, not for standing in front of him. For standing between him and Artoria.
No, he would totally kill Shiro for just standing in front of him.
行け、セイバー。ここからなら境界が近い。あいつなら、あれが空いててもお前をかくまってくれる。
Yeah, about that.
I push Saber away and start running, trying to escape the death I can only hope isn't inevitable. There's no plan here. I'm just gonna risk it all and run straight at this guy, and then I'm gonna project Saber's sword again, just like when we fought Berserker. I'm blown back. What just happened? The moment he snapped his fingers, something appeared right beside me. Did she get cut in half again? It's a giant hammer. It knocks me aside like a piece of trash, and I slam hard into the ground. I can't move. My body's completely useless, like all my bones have been turned to jelly. I've lost all sensation in my limbs. The pain is so dull, I can't even tell if I'm still alive.
殺しはせん。今ここで貴様を潰せば、セイバーも消えてしまうからな。不本意ではあるが、聖杯を呼ぶまでは生かしておいてやろう。
See, this guy knows what's up. He can't afford to kill Shiro. The man laughs. I try to push myself up, but my body won't listen.
だが思い上がるなよ、雑種。貴様なぞいなくとも、サーバントを存命させる方法はある。単に今の状態が最も手がかからぬだけだ。それ以上さえずるのなら、殺すぞ。
And then my mind goes blank. He will kill me. If I make even a single move, he will do just what he said he would. I can't possibly move after that kind of warning.
Shiro!
Saber tries to run toward me.
どこに行く？邪魔者はいなくなったのだ。お前が向かうべきは、そのようなクズではなかろう。
The man in gold won't allow it. He stands in front of me and waits for Saber to reach me. Saber stops and glares at him. The two stand about 10 meters apart. I don't know about Archer, but Saber can close that distance in a heartbeat.
その様子ではまだ俺に下る気はないようだな。理解に苦しむ。お前ほどの英霊ならば 俺に選ばれる
Except
ことがどれほ
allegedly
ど
even
の価値か分
Artoria
かろ
doesn't
う
know who the fuck you are, so saying it's an honor being chosen by me is like saying it's an honor to be selected by a guy. Who is he? I'm not sure. And the thing is, that makes it really difficult because Inu's also fairly confident I won't get this one.
I have reason to suspect that you're not going to get this one.
And like I could just start naming heroes I've heard you and Elle and Sarge talk about from FGO that I know he's that I know he couldn't be, or sorry, that I know he isn't. No, I could name ones I've heard you guys mention that I haven't seen, is what I mean to say. Which doesn't give me a ton of options, because I usually just tune you and Ellen Sarge out when you start talking FGO. Like,
To be fair, you've been chosen by me, just a guy. This is actually a pretty big flex in this universe, given the other just a guy we've met.
fair. Now, I know he considers himself a king. I know he's got a ridiculous number of weapons he can summon, which include but are not limited to the noble phantasm weapons of other servants.
Including literally Lancer.
Yeah. So my working theory at the moment is that he's either literally a personification of the Grail, which doesn't feel correct, or that he's whoever the first servant in the Throne of Heroes was, which, I mean, I guess he could be, but that still doesn't give me any clue as to who the fuck he actually is.
Well, the Throne of Heroes exists outside of time, so it's hard to say that there was really a first one. From the perspective of the Throne of Heroes, they're kind of all there simultaneously.
I mean, but somebody had to be effectively the first unit that ended up there.
Chronologically throughout human history, I suppose that would be true, but from the perspective of the throne, probably not. When you exist outside of time, basically everybody gets there at once. He could be Fergus McRoche. That's not how it's spelled, but that's how it's pronounced. Look at Shiro. He's both alive and dead. Also, multiple universes exist. So, yeah, you know.
3 guesses. I mean, if it weren't for the fact that I know he isn't Alexander the Great, that probably would have been one of my first guesses.
No, Iskander was in the last war.
But also, I find it hard to picture Alexander the Great being categorized as an archer in the first place.
No, he was a rider and also a rider.
Yes, a rider is what would make sense for him. You know, Julius Caesar would potentially make sense as someone who considers himself a king, but Julius Caesar very much referred to himself as an emperor, so, you know, that one's struck out.
Is blonde, though.
Like, so of historical figures that would make sense to me that I know are still canonically male in this universe, that pretty much cancels them, because I know he's not Napoleon. I've been told that outright.
Well, he doesn't have a
he doesn't have a silly hat, and
yeah.
he's objectively too tall. But
What about Jesus? Maybe he's Jesus.
no, we've seen his hands. There aren't holes in them.
Could be pre-crucifixion Jesus.
that'd just be boring. You'd have a glass of wine. But
He does drink wine with Iskander in Fate Zero. True story.
well, yeah, but you also wouldn't be suggesting people he actually is.
Unless I was trying to mislead you.
No. So really, there aren't a ton of people, like, one of the only names that I remember that I've heard Inu, Sergeant L talk about when they've been discussing FGO that I don't know enough about the history of that I think it would escape, or that I think it would be outside the realm of knowledge of who I'd be able to figure out by what I know about them. As weird of a loop as that sounds, I mean, I don't know. I have a name in my head, but I don't want to be right or wrong, for that matter, off the context clues of a guess based off of names I've heard them mention.
Yo mai goto. 英霊になろうと私は王だ。貴様の軍網になどくだらぬ。
Saber's like, nah, man, I ain't gonna be no
そうか
trophy wife.
いかに王であろうとお前は女だ
People are addressing you for questions in chat, by the way. I think it's FGO related.
I mean, go for both. That's what I'm doing.
主の前に神戸を
I'm getting a copy of Tiamat, but I am
女の
MP5
幸せであ
Draco.
るだというのに何を拒むまさか物もわからぬ小娘でもあるまいし
Fuck you!
俺の女になるのは恐ろしいか
This is the guy you were shipping her with, reminder.
Aesthetics wise, yes, I actually think they'd be very cute together. The problem is he's a misogynistic douche worse than Shiro.
貴様。
そう憤るな
No, I'm not necessarily regretting what I said earlier. I do like to consider aesthetics when I ship people together, and blondes and redheads are a mistake in every setting.
He is offering her literally everything in the entire world, so that's a pretty good offer, you know?
誇るがいいお前にはそれだけの価値があると認めたのだ
This is a real, like, marry him, your father will your father will condone you, you marry him, your father will disown you sort of situation, huh? The man moves. He extends both arms and approaches Saber as if in a welcoming embrace.
そう守護者になどなることもなく死にゆく運命に戻ることもない
Hey, look at this! He's offering her an out.
このまま俺のものになれ
I mean, it's kind of the same out Shiro was trying to
共
offer
に
her,
二
though,
度
to
目
be
の生
fair.
を謳歌しようではないか
断る。そのようなことに興味はないし、何より貴様と共に生きるなどまかり間違ってもありえません。
Saber looks straight at Archer as she speaks. She stands firm, not taking so much as a step back. His laughter suddenly stops. I'm not sure what he found so funny in the first place.
いいぞ。それでこそ俺の見込んだ女よ。はあ、この世に一つ程度は俺に従わぬ者がいなければな。よーし。では力ずくだ。聖杯を手に入れた後、その身に中身をぶちまけてやろう。喜べよセイバー。そうなればマスターなど不要となる。万能の器である聖杯、その力すべてを飲み干すのだからな。サーバントなどと人間の使い魔に甘んじることもなくなるだろう。
He's so damn smug. To that,
アーチャー、貴様の目的は何だ？
she must have realized that the only option is to fight him. And before she engages with the enemy, she wants to know why he does what he does.
目的か？さあ、何だったか。あいにくこの世の財は全て手に入れた身でな。の
聖杯を求めてはいないというのか？
聖杯？ああ、不老不死か。そんなものは蛇にくれてやった。
不老不死を。
For anyone with the knowledge, that's like a huge giveaway. Saber freezes. What just happened? Saber subtly shakes her head to refute those words.
だがこの世界は面白いぞ。根本は変わらぬが、装飾もここまで来れば別物だ。これならば、再びこの世で君臨するのも悪くない。そうだな。俺の目的といえばそんなところか。それを効率よく進めるというのであらば、聖杯の力も悪くはないな。
支配欲か。見下げ果てたな、アーチャー。そんなことのために聖
You
杯
can tell
を欲するとは。
Arctoria got it from that because she looked like she was about to shit a brick. Yeah.
欲するのではない。世の財はすべて我のもの。自分のものを他人に使われるのが我慢ならんだけよ。お前とて、その政権を人に使われては腹立たしいだろう。騎士王よ。
Pale mist shrouds Saber. God damn it, the ghosts are back! Then, in a flash, she's wearing her brilliant silver armor.
ほう。
He doesn't move a muscle. In the next instant, Saber dashes forward. In the space of a single breath, she rushes straight at the man and swings her invisible sword at him with deadly speed. Saber goes flying backwards. If Saber's armor materialized by magical energy, Archer's must be the same. In the brief space of their rapid exchange, the man in gold arms himself. Saber looks calmly at Archer as she readies her sword. Even as his eyes meet hers, his sneer remains.
What is this image?
It's Saber's, like, waist. Saber from the neck to, like, roughly the knees-ish.
Upper thigh, probably.
よいぞ。歯向かうことを許す、セイバー。
What these images?
Do you like his comedically large penis cover?
It's a comedically large codpiece, yes.
The enemy happily announces the beginning of battle.
He's definitely overcompensating for something.
I mean, just look at those shoulder pads.
Also, his giant collection of weapons, he's for sure overcompensating a massive micro penis.
A white light bursts in the air beneath them. Saber's sword, shrouded in a bolt of lightning, cleaves directly toward the Golden Knight. One, two, three, 4 strikes. Ah.
Was it Count Von Count? Was that his name? My God, was he Sesame Street or Muppet?
That was Sesame Street. Each time Saber's sword strikes, blinding light flashes from the contact. Watching her repeated attacks is like staring at a strobe light. Yeah, reminder, Shiro's currently bleeding to death while narrating all this. It's just like when I first saw Saber, that night when she fought Lancer. Saber channels her excess magical energy into her sword and strikes with such speed and precision that she all but becomes a lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
Kitty punch, kitty punch, kitty punch, and pause, kitty punch.
Although,
Clang of sword against armor echoes through the air.
time-wise, I think probably best to do one of these.
I'm pretty sure he ends up getting name dropped during this encounter.
Fair. I mean, Saber's clearly figured out who he is.
Well, yeah, because she damn near shit herself when she figured it out.
And that tells me some interesting things. Like, his legend would therefore have to have predated her existence or her lifetime. Which rules out many people.
Not Jesus. Doesn't rule out Jesus.
It's not Jesus.
Could be Jesus.
Jesus didn't give immortality to a snake.
It could be Adam.
No. No, and it's funny because I did briefly go Lucifer Morningstar? But he was the snake. He didn't give immortality to the snake.
God gave immortality to the snake, though. Technically speaking.
And then took it away.
Still, did give immortality to the snake, so it could be God.
No.
Could just straight up be God. Also, yeah, not necessarily. Servants, because of the Grail summoning, she does have knowledge of... She's granted knowledge of other... Basically anything the Grail considers might be relevant to summoning. So, modern history, legends of other servants, that sort of thing. Because it would be really unfortunate for a servant to get summoned and then another servant to be summoned in the same war that's from a period later in time than them, and for that servant to just have no ability to work out who the other one is.
I mean, sure, but,
So
but when did rules in these sorts of games ever have to be generous to one another?
Those sorts of things are generally kind of covered by Grail knowledge, like legends and history and mythology and that sort of thing are generally sort of covered regardless of whether a particular servant would have had that knowledge during her lifetime or not.
But Artoria is also not a proper servant.
No, but she was summoned by the Grail, so she has still been granted, like, Grail knowledge. It's why she didn't, like, freak out when she encountered streetlights or planes or something the first time.
I mean,
Or television.
to be fair, I have no knowledge that she didn't, because I always kind of figured she was part of the previous Growl Wars, so, you know, and she has memories from that war, so she very well could have freaked the fuck out. Quite frankly, I think it'd be really entertaining to watch Kiritsugu, to, like, patient dad explain everything to Artoria. Except, also
keep
knowing
in mind
Kiritsugu,
that-
he'd have taught her what everything was backwards, but...
Well, you're forgetting that Artoria said that Kiritsugu only spoke to her, like, 3 times.
That's fair.
So, Kiritsugu didn't teach her shit. Her body doesn't work the same way as a proper servant, but she does still receive ground knowledge. Yeah. That's why it wasn't weird that, like, Archer already kind of knew about Fuyuki, was he got ground knowledge. I mean, he didn't need the ground knowledge for Fuyuki, because, like, you know, he lived there for, like, a long-ass time, but... Red Archer, not Gold Archer. Green's Archer.
Yeah, I know which Archer you're talking about.
Although I guess at this point, Goldie has lived here for like 10 years.
Yeah, he's also technically lived there a long-ass time.
Not like as long as Shiro, for instance. Or Ring.
No, but longer than, say, Ilya.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, Ilya's been here for like a few weeks at best, probably. You know. Not good. Next time! The combat with Goldie, and then, you know, a death. Before we probably get into day 15. Day the final. So, getting on towards the end.
Well, people seem excited about that.
Eh,
But I suppose that means, I guess, that until next time, we'll catch you guys later.